Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone present here. A special good afternoon to our speaker for today, that is Miss Jenny Ho Po Choon, my fellow colleagues, Puan Nuraini binti Darus, and Encik Subramaniam, Mr. Subramaniam, who has been very gracious enough to help us today to do the technical element of it. I hope that all of you will pay attention, because it's not easy to get Miss Jenny, and she has a whole wealth of information to share with you all, and she's extremely experienced. So students, you may write your comments, and in the comments column, if you have any questions, you may post your questions, and which I will post to Miss Jenny, and she will answer. And as this goes for the teachers, those teachers who are present as well, thank you, all teachers and students of Bangsa Pudu District Education Department, District of Bangsa Pudu, good afternoon. And you may post your questions as well, teachers, and Jenny will answer them as well. So without wasting any more time, let us start. Jenny, over to you.
Hi, good afternoon. So,
good afternoon.
First of all, congrats for still being awake at about 2. I know it's the weirdest of time to do this talk, but bear with us so that we can share with you a few things this afternoon. First of all, thank you to PPD Bangsa Pudu for inviting me for this talk. I'm Madam Jenny, you can call me Jenny. And this afternoon, I want to just share with you a quick and easy way to write your story, right? So let's get down to business. Have you got your pen? Have you got your paper? I got my coffee. So you're ready? Let's go. Right. So what's this Foursquare Storyboard all about? I've started this storyboard for my weak students who were not able to write a simple story. They always ended up writing like 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs. So I'm going to bring you from just this short story, and I'm going to bring you to the SPM level. So stay with me, and let's start. Next. So let's look at this Foursquare storyboard. I would encourage you to draw the Foursquare as I share with you what this Foursquare is all about. So I've divided this storyboard into 4 parts. So you can see beginning. Carry on. Next, Puan No. You can see problem. You can also see the next one, solution. Next one, no? Yes, and then ending. Which means basically I've divided the story into 4 parts. Now, you know the beginning. The beginning is actually the first part of the story where we introduce the characters, where we introduce what's going on at the moment you were telling the story. So I like to start with few simple WH questions. If you follow these WH questions, you will be able to write a simple sentence, right? So don't worry about this. We will continue and you will get into the story as we go along, right? So next one is the problem. You know the beginning is very easy, right? So the problem would be what actually happened. We will call it conflict, but I like to call it problem. It's like A loves B, but B loves C. You know that story, okay? So what's happening is you just want to tell in 1 to 2 paragraphs what happened. So if it's an accident, then you'll be writing about how the accident happened, who hit who, which car, who crashed into somebody's car, and what happened, right? So that is the problem. Now, I have divided the next section and call it solution. Next, okay. Solution is where all actions taken by you or by people to solve the problem. So if it's an accident, what are the actions taken to solve the accident problem? Somebody called the police, called the ambulance, you rush to help the victims, the ambulance and paramedics arrive and sent everybody to the hospital, right? So you know the picture. So everything that is done to help solve the problem would be in this solution section. So it could be one paragraph, it could be 2 paragraphs, right? And then we have the ending. I like to remind students, don't worry too much about writing long endings. Just finish the story with thanking someone, praising someone, or feeling grateful for something that has happened or the lesson learned, right? So you remember these 4 words or 4 phrases that will help you to write the story. Okay, any questions so far? I'll just pause and maybe you want to type something, your comments. Okay, so on your paper, you should have had this beginning, problem, solution, and ending written down, right? So if there's no question, we carry on. Okay, look at these pictures which we put up for you. Just take a few seconds to look at it. What do you think this story is about? Okay, should be about robbery, snatch, thief. Okay, so now if I were to divide the pictures, which one would go into the beginning? Which one would go into the problem? Which one would go into the solution? Okay, look at the first picture. Is that a problem? Yes, somebody is running away with the victim's handbag, right? So the next picture, somebody catching the thief or the robber would go into which one? Problem or solution, right? So in your mind, you are actually dividing the plot already to these 4 sections. Okay, shall we look at the next slide? So I would have arranged it like this in my mind when I'm preparing for the SPM, or you're right there at the hall, you won't have pictures, but in your mind, you would sort of divide this. Continue, no? So I would have someone standing, for the beginning, is a character. She's going shopping, right? Probably. And then problem, someone snatched her handbag. Solution, people who came to help her and finally caught the thief. And the ending would be she thanked someone who had helped her. Okay, so this is the basic story. And now we are going to pad it up and make it better, because for SPM you need to write 200 to 250 words, right, for this part of this essay. So I'm going to show you how I bring it from a basic essay to a longer essay. Okay, so let's see what we can do for the 4 parts. Next. Continue, no? Yeah, press all. Okay, so you have the beginning where you introduce the character and the setting, and then you have the problem, once again, what happened, and you have the solution, actions taken to solve the problem, and then you have the ending. So just now, let's give a name, probably Susan, right? Susan wanted to go shopping. Yes? So where? I would ask myself this question. Why does she want to go shopping? What does she want to buy? So you have these WH questions to help you set your first paragraph. She wanted to go shopping to buy a new handbag, right? Probably you want to add how she was feeling, just to get one short paragraph. Next. So to introduce the problem, right, I would like say, you know, what really happened to her. Suddenly someone pushed her down, right, pulled her handbag, okay, dashed out of the mall. So these are the things that happened during the event of the robbery or the snatch theft. So you can plan in 1 or 2 paragraphs what will happen, right? Then the solution. Okay, the solution will be who did what to help her. So again, somebody called the security guard, a boy chased the thief, right? And then finally they caught the thief. So these are the words that you need to have when you are writing the solution. Okay, so if it's accident, again, it's the same thing. Somebody called the ambulance, somebody called for help, right? And then the ending, very briefly, so Susan is going to thank the security guard who caught the thief, or she praised the boy who called for the police, right? So I'm going to show you how I put it together. Okay, next. No, next. Okay, so if I were to write down in simple sentence, you would have this 160 word essay. Okay, it's about PT3 level. Okay, shall we read through? Very simple one. So start with the time. When was it? Last Sunday. Who? Susan wanted to go where? Shopping at the mall. Wanted to do what? All right. Why does she want to go shopping? She wanted to get a new dress for her birthday party. Right? And how does she feel? She was on cloud 9 as she had not been out for a few weeks. When Susan arrived at the mall, it was already packed like sardines. So this is a good phrase here, but still again, PT3 level. Susan went to her favorite store. She was browsing at some dresses when someone pushed her down. So I'm describing what happened. Right? Before she realized it, someone had pulled her handbag. She shouted as she saw the thief ran out of the shop. Okay, that's the problem. I've done it in 1 paragraph. Now, solution. Who came to help her? So very simple. Then a boy who had witnessed the event chased the thief. The security guard nearby started to chase as well. They managed to catch the thief. By this time, some policemen had arrived at the scene. So they managed to catch the thief. Okay, finally now, Susan was so happy to get her handbag back. She praised the boy. Just now remember I said, thank, praise, felt grateful, right? Learn a lesson. So we just include that into the ending. See, it's like so simple and yet you already got such a long essay. Now, the next slide now shows you the SPM one. Okay, so this is about 228 words and I just added a few lines here and there. So it's not difficult, right? So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. You already got 228 words. Huh? Okay, let's see what did I do. Okay, I added details. Can we read it? Last Sunday, Susan wanted to go shopping at the mall. She wanted to get a new dress for her birthday party. She was looking forward to go to the city as she had been quarantined in her house for the past 2 months due to the pandemic. So I am bringing out my own experience and putting it here just to add. Writers like to pad their writing, and this is part of the padding by adding reasons and explanation. Okay, when Susan arrived at the mall, so you can put the name of the mall earlier just now. If you don't want, it's still fine. When Susan arrived at the mall, it was already packed like sardines. There were many shoppers as eager as her. Susan headed to her favorite store. Okay, she wanted to buy a dress, remember? She was browsing. So this word browsing, just looking at some dresses when she felt a heavy tug. Somebody pulled. Suddenly, someone pushed her down. Before she realized it, someone had pulled her handbag. She shouted as she saw the thief dash out of the shop. So I'm describing the action in detail. Okay, what really happened. So in your mind, you can see Susan already panicking, and you can see the thief running out of the shop, right? Some of the shoppers did not realize till she screamed. Okay, then this is a solution. Then a boy who witnessed the event chased the thief as he made his way down the elevator. A woman alerted. Okay, alerted means tell the security guard nearby. The thief weaved in and out of the crowd. Can you see the yellow highlight? Okay, weave in and out, macam lintang pukang. Alright, running here and there, going in and out. I'm sure you've seen this in the drama. Some passers by, okay, orang yang lalu lalang di situ. Some passers, note the spelling, Passersby. Passers by means ramai, passers by who heard the commotion, who heard the noise, right? Lent a hand, again, very good phrase, lent a hand, lent a helping hand, and they managed to catch the thief. By this time, some policemen had arrived at the scene. And I just added, finally, Susan heaved a sigh of relief. Rasa lega, got her handbag back. All right. She praised the boy and the security guard for their quick action. She was also grateful to the passers-by who helped her. Susan learned that she ought to be more careful whenever she goes out. Okay. It's short, but very simple one. Okay, so this is already sufficient for you for SPM level. Okay, we will look at one more, which is a little bit higher, an A script. Okay, before that, any questions you want to ask me before we go to the next slide? Any questions you want to ask me? This is the time about what we had discussed just now. Okay, you are fine? Are we okay? Okay, if not, we can carry on and you save your question at the end. Okay, so let's say you are going to write the title, An Unforgettable Day, right? So my advice is choose an event or day which is truly unforgettable, right? Don't write about a day where you went somewhere and then you went here, you eat there, and then that's it. Nothing much happened. So really forgettable. That one is forgettable. Okay. So another advice is do not describe more than one day, because the question is unforgettable day. One day only. Okay, I've got a question coming in. I'll answer you in a little while. Let me finish this one first. Okay, one more. Stay focused on one or two events. Do not be too ambitious because you want to get the A. You want to write as much as you can. The limit is only 250. For this year, it's totally a new exam, so we are not sure whether they would penalize you if you write 300 words. So to stay safe, do not write more than 10 or 15 words. That means obey the rules. When they say 250, you finish around 260, I think it's acceptable. Okay, so they're just really testing whether you're able to communicate or narrate a story within the word limit given. Okay. So I'm going to address the one question here. Does it mean our grades depend on how well we describe the situation? I think your grade depends on a few things. Your grammar, whether you answer the task correctly, whether you describe the situation well, yes, you must respond to the task. If they ask you to describe an unforgettable day, then you describe an unforgettable day, right? We will go down to the next essay, and perhaps you would see what I'm talking about. Next note. Okay. Now, this is from my book, so I thought it would be cool to look at how actually I do a day I will never forget. Okay. So look at this one. I'll give you some time to read it first, how I start the essay. Okay, are you ready? Okay. Now, how do I start? Okay. I describe that morning, how it looked like, the weather, okay, or how the town looks like. This is about snatch thief. It's a real experience I went through, right, in my hometown in Taipei. Taipei has got a lot of snatch thieves, so be careful. I can still recall that fateful morning. The town was just beginning to stir from its sleep. Baru bangun, right? That means still people are sleeping, just beginning to wake up, right? Very quiet still. My brother Alan had promised to give me a lift to school, and as usual, we dropped by Permai restaurant. So add a name. Okay, are you copying notes? Add a name to the restaurant to make it more real, right? To add some realistic element in your story. Okay. I grabbed my handbag and sauntered to the restaurant, still groggy from sleep. This is the part where I show, not just merely tell, that I had just woken up. See, if you just woke up, you wouldn't walk very fast, right? So the word sauntered means walk slowly, right? And groggy from sleep, still a bit dizzy, still sleeping mode. Okay. So this is one of the way I introduce my setting. Then, nothing wrong with using the word suddenly. Some people say, teacher, suddenly sound like UPSR ma. You can use the word suddenly. I felt a tug from behind. You saw that word just now in my Susan story. I felt a tug from behind, and before I realized it, my bag was gone. So this is the problem now I'm starting. I looked up and saw two men on a motorcycle. Then it hit me. Snatch this. Alan jumped into his car and gave chase. Gave chase means mengejar, right? Chase him. So notice that I use very short sentences. Okay? These short sentences add to the excitement and panic of the moment. All right. So if you use long sentences to describe what happened, it actually defeats the purpose. You want to create a sense of urgency and panic. So I can use my short sentences. Okay. Next. Okay. So this is what I have done. Okay. I begin with the background of the story. Then I add details to make it more interesting. Next. And then I use good descriptive phrases. These are the ones. Sauntered, groggy from sleep. This one definitely A script. Okay. And then I show, not tell. Right? And then I use shorter sentences to create a sense of urgency. You want some more? Okay, next one. Yeah, next. Next, no? Okay, next paragraph. So what happened? Handbag gone. Brother went to chase. So the next paragraph is still mixed with the problem and solution. You can see. So I'm going to add sensory detail. Sensory detail, you're asking me about descriptive words. Sensory details are things that, words that make you see, make you feel, make you hear, make you taste. all right? So that you create these pictures in people's mind. So then a kind passerby took me into the restaurant and gave me a hot teh tarik. So teh tarik, I put italic here, but you can put in open and close inverted comma. You can use these common words in Malay, but make sure you put inverted commas first. But do not sprinkle your whole essay with all the Malay words. Cannot. Okay, just use sparingly once or twice, like nasi lemak, all right? Curious eyes followed my footsteps. So is what do you see? Okay, eyes following you. Okay, that's a good phrase. My mind was racing. Another good phrase here. You want to tell people that you are panicking. Your mind is really topsy-turvy. My mind was racing, trying to think what was in my bag. I was vaguely aware that my arm was throbbing. How do you feel? Your arm was throbbing. I saw that it was swollen. 20 minutes later, and what seemed like an eternity to me, Alan came back empty-handed. Couldn't get the handbag back. Okay? We headed for the police station nearby. I tried to narrate the incident, but I could not describe the thieves. We saw several women complaining loudly to an officer. What do you hear? You can hear people complaining. Somehow the thought that I was not the only victim comforted me. So this is how you feel. Okay, the ending. Let's look at ending. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, remember I told you in the ending you have like thanking someone, lesson learned, feeling grateful. You see how I put it. You don't have to put all. You see how I put it together. That night, I finally broke down and cried. I could not sleep as images of those two men lurked in my mind, but I was thankful that I was not hurt. I resolved to be more alert the next time. I shall never forget this day for the rest of my life. Okay, so finally broke down means what? Cried lah. Feeling very sad already, but whole day because of shock, could not cry and could not sleep as well. So how does she feel? She could not sleep. Why? Images of those two men lurk in my mind. Each time you close your eyes, the image of those two men came back to you. But I was thankful that I was not hurt. Okay, again, feeling grateful, feeling thankful. I resolved, this is a lesson learned. I resolved to be more alert the next time. I shall never forget this for the rest of my life. Now, if the question starts with a beginning, then make sure you use the beginning. And if the question asks you to use the ending, I shall never forget this day for the rest of my life, then do remember to use this sentence, right? So sometimes you're so excited to write, and then we forget the ending or the beginning that has been given. Okay, so is there any question? Let's pause for questions first. Okay, I see a question here. How many marks are given? Okay, how many marks are given for this essay? I think each essay has got 20 marks. So for the whole paper, for the writing paper is 60 marks. Okay. And how to count the words? I think what you mean is whether how the names and all. I think this one is very easy. All right. Even your word processing software will also count for you. Simple. The names usually is counted as 1. Names of cities is counted as 1. But sometimes in some years, they say like United States of America is 4. So I really don't know about that one. So be careful about using long names, right? Okay, if there's no question, let's look at what to prepare, my advice. Okay, so for me, prepare a sad story and prepare a happy story. So you can use it in any situation. You just change it a little bit, right? Don't wait till you are there and then you start writing your own story, unless you're very good, okay? Topics like unforgettable day, most memorable day, a lesson I will never forget, all these are very common, okay? But for this year, since it's a new syllabus, be careful when you want to write. Read the questions carefully. We don't know what exactly will come out. I'm sure it's not going to be something very difficult. My advice is do not memorize from the book. Now, in our past experiences as marking the exam, all those who memorize are marked down. So try not to memorize the whole essay, right? 1 or 2 phrases, paragraph here and there, we usually overlook. But when we compare your essay 1 and essay 2, we will surely know. And sometimes we feel that if you had just write on your own without memorizing, you would have done much better. We always say sayang. Okay? So is there a penalty for exceeding the word limit? Right now, no. Students still write and we just read and put them in any of the band. But I don't know for 2021 exam. So try not to exceed the words more than 10, as I said just now, right? So my another advice is use descriptive phrases, not just bombastic words. So in our experience also, when we are marking, we realized that some students had memorized bombastic words, difficult words that we have never even seen before, and try to put in everywhere in the essay. So don't do that. Be natural, write simple sentences. You want to show off, use it relevantly. That means if it's suited for the essay, why not? All right. So if you are the type that reads a lot, this comes natural for you. But if you're only writing once or twice a year, that is the problem. Okay. The other one is some of you like to type in the electronic dictionary, especially for people like us who are Chinese educated. We have this dictionary that translates everything for us, and somehow the words come out not as good. Okay? So, any questions after this? I think I've reached the end of my sharing. We'll leave 5 minutes for any questions before I go to the next slide. Ladies, I'm not done yet. Let's just wait for the questions. Okay, there's one question here. How do we learn the good words or phrases? For me, it's use it or lose it. Okay, so my son is able to speak Tamil when he was young. And because he didn't use it, he has lost it because he studied in the kindergarten Tamil school. So because you don't use it, you will lose it, right? The other thing is, for me, take a chance to write down important phrases when you read. You know, when you read and then you realize, oh, this is very nice. Like today, I'm sure you have done some nice phrases. Take it down and try to use it. Okay? Can students use idioms, phrases in guided writing? Of course. Okay? Of course, you can use idioms or phrases in guided writing. But again, don't try to sprinkle every line or every phrase, or you forgot and then suddenly the last paragraph you suddenly decided to use all four. Okay? So be very natural. Okay, any more questions coming in? Now, since we have time, can we look at two more examples? Just hold on. Okay, I've sent it to Miss Gladys, if you can see it. Okay, so there are two more examples which we can look at since we have time and there's no questions coming in. So we'll look at two more samples. One is an accident. Okay, so while waiting for them to set it up, are you able to do it? For more questions, you can go to my YouTube channel to connect with me and subscribe. And today's session, there will be a video like exactly like this. And you can ask more of your questions there, okay? Okay, there's one more question coming in. Sorry. Can I use other idea? For example, do more than 500 words. I think it's the same question that we had just now. Whether you can write more than the 3 points given for the second essay. We're talking about writing now, but you are also talking about the second essay, the guided writing, right? My advice, do not write more than the stipulated number of words because you won't have time for the third essay. Okay? So, okay, can we have the other slide that I just sent? Gladys, your telegram. Okay, so while waiting, are we okay? Gladys, are you able to share from your telegram? There's two more essays.
Sharing will be done by Aini, so Aini will have to share. Okay.
Okay, just hold on. So, do take the time to ask me any questions you have. I'm looking at the comments. Exactly how many of us are online now? Can you tell?
Just a minute. Earlier I saw was there were around 325 students. We did reach 348, or now 302. Okay. There's one
Okay,
question
teachers,
here.
if you have any questions. Yeah,
What
sorry.
can I use if
Teachers,
I need to avoid using because? Okay, yeah.
teachers, if you have any questions, do write down. Now, this video will be released on my YouTube channel, something like what I did today. So you can always go to the channel and look at it again and ask me any questions over there. Are we able to share? Okay, one more question coming in. What can I use if I need to avoid use because? Oh, I don't really understand the question here. What can I use if I need to avoid use because?
I think the student is saying that the student doesn't want to use because all the time in writing. So instead of because, what else can be used? And there is another question, Jenny. Can I know the channel name? Someone wants to know the
Okay. So I'm going to share it at the end. I'm going to share it at the end. So I'm just waiting. Is Aini able to? Yeah, yay. Right. Are you back with me? Okay. This is a story about Emily rescuing someone. Okay. So let's see how I start. Okay. Emily woke up early that Saturday. She had agreed to meet up with her 3 friends for breakfast before heading to the university. As they passed a magazine stand, she stopped to get her favorite magazine. She noticed something strange. Pakcik Aiman was not manning his stall. Manning means taking care of the store, looking after. Something made her stop and look into the little store. Okay, I like the next phrase. To her horror, she saw Pakcik Aiman lying face down on the floor. Emily's friend Kathy quickly whipped out her phone. Okay, the word whipped out is also very good. Take out. Okay, and punched the emergency number. Emily called out his name, but there was no response. She turned him over carefully with her friends. She knew she had to check the pulse. Starting CPR here. She felt his wrist, then checked his neck. There was nothing. See, so I'm describing someone that you have rescued, and I describe the problem, and the next paragraph would be the solution. So I just want you to see how I start, just describing what happened in the beginning, and then I describe my problem. Okay, next. Can we go to the next one? Okay, this is an accident one. Okay, so if I were the teacher watching this also, I would also ask my students to practice starting the story, writing down the plots. So after this, I encourage teachers who had watched this with your students to sort out the Foursquare, right? The storyboard, and ask students to prepare as many storyboards as you want and all the phrases. So if it's about accident, let's see what are the useful phrases. It was a quiet and hot afternoon as I was heading home. Very simple, right? But I tell you, this is an A script. I was looking forward to a cold cola to soothe my parched throat, right? Thirsty? Soothe your parched throat. Having had to attend an extra class, or having had to endure Oh, the word is so strong. Endure. Like now you're enduring an extra class. Just as I trudged past the school, I saw a white Mercedes swerving from side to side. So the problem is starting now. I wanted to show you this. Don't necessarily have to start your problem in the next paragraph. You can actually start in the beginning also. I'm actually naming the white Mercedes, all right? Swerving from side to side. Okay, copy that word or that phrase. In an accident, you need to write this one. Swerving from side to side, losing control of the car. Isn't it too early to get drunk? I thought as I watched it surge forward. Okay, another technique that we use in story writing is to add dialogue. Whether it's internal dialogue or actually talking to somebody else. Then, to my horror, again, you see I use the phrase, to my horror, it picked up speed. The Mercedes picked up speed. It blasted past me and slammed into a stationary Proton at the traffic lights. See, you can see the picture already. The Proton there, right? Parked there probably, or stationary, not moving. And the white Mercedes flew and rammed into the Proton. Okay, the Proton jerked forward and he hit another car. The ear-shattering bang. Okay, copy that phrase. The ear-shattering bang sent some shopkeepers scuffling out of their shops on the main road. Do you agree it's an A script? Okay, so I quickly called for an ambulance. Wasting no time, another passerby, one passerby only, and I raced to the Proton and grabbed the little girls. Fortunately, they were unhurt. The driver of the car was in a daze. Blood was oozing out of his head. Okay, copy this phrase. Blood was oozing out. Okay, these are the phrases you need when you write about an accident. Okay, so my advice is as you go back to your individual places again in our virtual world, we are together, right? So when you are on your own again, write or draw this Foursquare and write out the parts for accident. And what words would you use for the problem? What words would you use for the solution? And practice these two parts, because ending and beginning, I think you won't have a problem. Okay, so there are some questions here. My YouTube channel, I will tell you in my last part here. Hi teacher, I would like to ask if there are many grammar mistakes, you will deduct how many marks. I don't think they were going to deduct and count how many mistakes, but they do impression marking, overall marking. That means when they read, they also look at the kind of grammar mistakes. Is it serious or is it just minor errors? Okay, so in my YouTube channel, I also shared about common errors. So do go and see after this today. If we focus on story writing, can we just learn up as many stories as possible and forget about other form of essays? My advice is no. Be prepared for everything. You cannot just expect story. What happens if story does not come out? Okay. So let's go back to my slides now, the original slides. And I will just do the last part. You can continue to type your questions, no problem. Sorry, no, you have to go in and out. Last part, my YouTube channel. Okay, so if you are not able to ask me now, go ahead and go to my YouTube channel, SPM Tips with Jenny Ho. You can type it and you'll be able to find it. and connect with me over there, right? SPM Tips with Jenny Ho, and the YouTube channel link is there, if you can see it. Okay, next slide. Next slide, no, okay. And if you want more essays like this, like what I showed you just now, you can go ahead and get my book on Shopee, right? So I show you this one. It's really colorful. I enjoy looking at it. It's my first full color book, right? So check it out at Shopee. I've given the link there. And welcome to use my code NILAMJH. Nilam is published by Nilam. So use the code NILAMJH for more discount. And I have covered all the sections on writing. Section 1, the email, the messages. Section 2, the guided writing. And lastly, the extended essay. So do check it out on Shopee. You can get it. It's about 14 something if I'm not wrong. So if there are any questions, connect with me on Facebook. You can also find me there, SPM English 1119 with Jenny Ho. Or you can connect with me on YouTube anytime. Okay, just don't ask me to mark your essays. If there are no more questions, let me just record my thanks to PPD Bangsa Pudu, especially the Sektor Pembelajaran. Thank you, Puan Gladys and Puan Noor and Encik Subra for all your help today. Enjoy doing this with you guys, right? So more questions are coming in, Gladys. What shall we do?
There are no. I've put all the questions in our private chat, but besides that, I don't really see any more questions. Yeah, there's just there are no more questions actually. The rest I've gone through. Some are repetitive questions, so I've not put that in our private chat. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We have come to the end of our session, and I would like to convey my thanks on behalf of PPD Bangsa Pudu, on behalf of all the students in Bangsa Pudu who have attended the session and who will definitely be watching the video as well, and to teachers who have been who joined us as well. So thank you, and I'm so glad that we had a chance today to meet Miss Jenny, who is actually retired, and she's currently in Taiping. So some of the good things that has happened because of the pandemic is that we are able to get people from other states to share with us their ideas, and we in PPD did not want to miss out on this opportunity to get Jenny with us. And as you can see, this session is just an introduction. There is a lot more. Do subscribe to her YouTube channel, and you can follow. She has actually she shows techniques for many different types of essays following our new format, as well as those of you who feel that there is no proper reference book or what, you may look at her book as well. Get a book. This is for the teachers as well who may want to buy a copy of a book or a few copies for your panel. You can have examples there and so on. But Jenny's Foursquare method is one method which really helps students to write a good story. So I hope that this afternoon has been worthwhile for all of you. And